Okay, so it's 11 sharp. I think we can then kick off this webinar. So first of all, I'd like to welcome you all and thank you for tuning in. This is the fourth webinar on building on the investment readiness set of webinars, which are part of the nnoVest program. Today we will be talking about building your investment ready business plan and the value proposition. This webinar is powered by EBN, but it will be delivered by Frida Hedin, who is the Hedry Management, works at the Hedry Management, which is a consulting. First of all, I will give you a brief introduction onto, let's say, Frida's background, then just some logistical information, and then I will finally give her the floor. So Frida is working in the Swedish innovation system as a process developer and a business coach at the Smile Incubator, which is a life science and ICT incubator. She's also a coach at Connect Sweden South, which is a business angel network. And she's also an entrepreneur at her own firm, Hedry Management, which, as I said, is a consulting. So on her day-to-day regular basis, Frida coaches startups and SMEs in order to boost them towards creating investment-ready plans and allow them to grow. So for today's session, I would ask you all to please not be shy, and as Frida is presenting, to please write your questions in the questions tab that you should have at the right of your screen. In the meantime, I will be collecting these questions and putting them all in one slide, and at the end we will have I think around 10-15 minutes for questions, and Frida will be able to answer these and one by one. So at this point, Frida, the floor is all yours, and I hope you all find this webinar very useful. Thank you.
Thank you for this nice introduction. And hello, everyone. As you know, I've been told I'm working in the innovation system in Sweden on a daily basis. And as a business coach, I help entrepreneurs, such as yourself, on a strategical level with all the different challenges when starting up, running, and developing a company. And as a process developer for an incubator, I'm fully aware of what the innovation system, including the investors, are looking for. And furthermore, at my own company, I'm facing the same challenges as you are. Great, let's start. My expectations on you today is to have an open mind and be present when listening. And I would like for you to interact, so please think about the questions as Carolisa told us, and finalize it or write it down, and we will raise them later on. And please mute when you're not talking and unmute when we're asking the questions. So today we will find out the investor's approach and criteria. We will learn about the key ingredients in a business plan. We will learn how to successfully define your business model and value proposition, and we will ensure success in creating an investment-ready business plan. Then, again, you will raise, share, and discuss particular questions, concerns, and challenges, and also receive information on usable templates and tools. Good, thank you. Let's start here. It's very important with your why, and both in the sense of why you're doing this, and in the sense of why you're creating a business plan. Two questions very good to ask yourself is, why am I starting a company? For example, is it the freedom? Do I have a great idea? Do I want to make more money? Do I want to grow a current business? Or do I want, for example, to solve a global issue? And the second question, why do I need a business plan? I want to give you a parable here. If you're planning a road trip, you will probably research different routes for a trip. Perhaps you choose scenic roads with lots of stops along the way, or maybe you decide to take the quickest one. To make it to your destination, you need to know where you're going and how you will get there. And preparing a business plan is just the same. Without a clear objective proposal, you cannot expect your company to develop successfully, and the business plan should serve as a roadmap for you throughout the startup process. Then it's also important to think about to whom you're writing the report. Is it for a potential customer, a potential development partner, a business angel or an investor, a venture capital company, or perhaps as an application for an incubator or for a competition, etc. It is important to have your whys and to whom figured out already when starting to create the business plan. Also, a good advice is to create a master business plan and then create different versions of it depending on whom you will show it to eventually. So, now let's talk about the approach and criteria in regards to investors. The approach is quite simple. The idea, the problem, the product, service will solve and how it will contribute to the world is just as important as who you are as a person. So it's hard facts combined with your personality, determination, and the willingness to succeed that lays the foundation for the decision making of an investor. Also, there's a variety of type of investors. I mean, you have business angels, VCs, government initiatives, bank loans, other companies, etc. And all of them will use this approach. When it comes to the criteria, they will concentrate on the high possibility for growth, a driven champion, yourself, your whys, the credibility and your endurance, a solid business plan with the key ingredients and that it is well worked through. And they will focus on high desire to grow and also high uniqueness. And the reason for high in above criteria is because it's crucial to ensure competitiveness and sustainability over time to succeed. So what are the key ingredients in a business plan? We will start with having a cover page. It's quite straightforward, and this is also good to include confidential information somewhere. You will need an executive summary, a short version of the entire business plan, and this is the most difficult one to be made in the very end. You need a business model. This is the most important part, where we will go into depth into this one, including the value proposition later on. Then you have the team, operations plan, risk analysis, and financial plan. This we will briefly go through as well. And then we will have appendix or appendices. And this is an opportunity to attach documents to verify the various ingredients. And overall, the length of the business plan should be minimum 2 to 3 pages and maximum, let's say 10 pages, including cover page and excluding appendices. So it shouldn't be too long. Let's start with the most important part in the business plan, and it's the business model. Sorry. An excellent help for this part is a tool. It's called Business Model Canvas, and it's a combination of a strategic, management, and entrepreneurial tool allowing you to describe, design, challenge, invent, and pivot your business model. The tool has been developed by author and entrepreneur Alexander Osterwalder and Swiss academic Yves Pigneur. Sorry about the pronunciation. The function is to ask yourself questions and search for the answers, and in that way compile the information needed to complete your business model. It's a great tool and it's used all over the world. Let's have a look at the various sections. I will quickly give an example of questions to ask yourself. We'll start with number 1. This is the value propositions. Which one of your customers' problems are we helping to solve? Or which customer needs are we satisfying? What is the specific product service and what are the features that match customer needs? Number 2. This is the customer segments. For who are we solving a problem or fulfilling a need? Who are the customers? Does the value proposition match their needs? Is this a single-sided or multi-sided market? Number 3, this is the channels. For which channels do our customer segments want to be reached? Number 4, the customer relationship. How will we get, keep, and grow customers? Number 5, key activities. What key activities do our value propositions require? Number 6, the key resources. What key resources, suppliers, etc. do our value proposition require? Number 7, the key partners. Who are our key partners? Number 8, revenue streams. What is the revenue model? What are the pricing tactics? For what value are our customers willing to pay? And number 9, cost structure. What are the most important costs in our business model? Since the value proposition is crucial and the key thing that makes up your product and why people buy it, we will focus on it in a few more minutes. As a great help, you can ask yourself the questions: what are you selling? What is the customer actually buying? What's in it for the customer? What are the side effects? What is the competitive advantage? The answers to these questions will create your USPs, the unique selling points. And this is also included in the business model canvas, as we have been discussing already. I would like to emphasize this part, the importance of having a match between the customer segment and the value proposition. If there's no match, you will not be able to sell your product or service. So put some time into this part, and an advice is to go out and interview potential customers, end users, investors, and potential development partners, and iterate it until you have the perfect match. All right, now we have gone through the business model, including value proposition. Let's have a look at the other key ingredients. Let's start off with the team. This part describes your management team and staff and how your business ownership is structured. It is not only who's on your management team, but how the skills of the management and staff will contribute to the bottom line of your business. The operation plan. This part describes the activity plan of what needs to be done, when, and by who. A good approach here, as mentioned before, is to plan for iterations and concentrate then on visualize, design, test, then redo, and then do it all over again, lots of times. It's very good to plan for this already in the business plan. We have the risk analysis. This is the part describing how you're thinking in regards to business and financial risks. An investor wants to be comfortable that potential risks have been defined and strategies been developed to deal with them. And I would say a business plan without a risk analysis is not credible. The financial plan. This part describes the outline of your company's growth strategy and is essential to a business plan. But it's not complete without the numbers to back it up. Make sure to include a sales forecast, expense budget, and cash flow statement. Of course, an investor is also very interested in when are you predicting to reach break-even. I mean, when are you making a profit? Great. Let's move forward to the success factors. According to my experience, I would like to share some do's and don'ts. To me, it's important to make interest and be informative. Not too long, not too short. But please include all the crucial things you would like to send out. And absolutely no typos, because then it's not a very professional business plan. Know your numbers. It's very important because you will probably present this business plan in different kind of sceneries later on. And it's very important that you know what you're thinking and what you have planned previously. Predict costs with optimistic and predicting the sales pessimistic. This is always something that's good to do. Take every possibility to share, pitch, and ask for input. Go to a friend, go to other entrepreneurs, as you know. Go to a potential client and just ask them to do investigations, because then if you know what people are looking for and the problems you're solving and you have the value in place, then you will succeed. Use the business plan as a living document. As told before, make a master business plan and then use different versions for different presentations later on, for example. And also use it as your roadmap, so you, because it will be changed later on depending on where you are in the business. Also concentrate on the value your product service creates for the customer. This is so important. I met a lot of entrepreneurs having the greatest idea that they think, but maybe the market is not ready or they are not solving actually the problem the customer wants. And put yourself in the reader's shoes, of course. What would you like to see and what is the most important thing for you? Because you know your business and the market better than everyone else. And also, don't forget to celebrate. Looking upon our business plan for the first time, it may be quite big, challenging, difficult to find time, and so on. Then put it into different smaller sections. And when you have done one section, celebrate, and then you will, in the end, have a good business plan. All right. And now you have the golden opportunity to raise particular questions, discuss something we've had in the presentation before, share your challenge, concerns, and experience. Anyone wants to start?
Hi, Frida. So during the presentation, there's been no questions, so perhaps you can start addressing the ones you received in advance.
Yeah, perfect. Great. We'll start with Jean-Luc Faticati. Sorry about the pronunciation. Are you with us today?
So let's see. Yes.
Perfect. Jean-Luc, would you like to describe the question one more time for us?
Okay, Jean-Luc, you're unmuted.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Yes.
Okay, good. Sorry, I need to recall the question. Can you?
I can read it for you.
Yes, please.
Yeah, the most critical thing we'd like to discuss during the webinar is how to benchmark our investment-ready business plan against which investors' criteria. So we can go back in the presentation here as well, so you can see the investor criteria.
So basically, the business model we are preparing is targeted at potential investors.
Yes.
And we really want to understand how our business plan we are preparing can get traction and interest from investors. For example, I believe that there is a very important section in the business plan, which is, in this case, the investment source and the return on investment and the exit plan and these kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
And how can I make sure that the business plan I prepare is really putting the idea and value and get the correct feedback? How can I benchmark what I do?
I think it's good to benchmark towards these criteria and what to say, take it from theoretical ideas to practical, or actually verify what you would like to do. For example, it's good if you look upon the first criteria here, the high possibility for growth. You can make competitor analysis, market analysis online, for example, to see, Google information to see how does the market, how is the market for this product or service you would like to sell later on, and make good information so that the investor can see, oh, there is a possible growth for this product or service. So you can verify your theoretical ideas with numbers. And then if we go through to the other criteria, you need to show that you or the other team members in your company are driven champions. They need to see, are you willing to do the effort it takes to actually succeed later on? Do you have the endurance and so on? You need to put this in information in the business plan so that they really can feel that you will do this and succeed. And so for every criteria here, and other criteria as well, of course, you need to verify somehow. And you can do it by doing investigations, writing reports, compiling information from competitors, ask customers, do interviews with potential customers or development partners, or what kind of persons you need to address it to. And also something that's quite crucial is to be objective, because I mean you've been working with this is your baby, you've probably been working with it for a while, you see all the potentials, but it's important that the customer and the investors also see the potentials in their way, and then often it's the hard facts they want to know. They want to know the numbers. What is the operational plan, for example? When will you when will you have your milestones, so to say, in the operational plan? When will you make a profit, and so on? So my advice is to go out and verify your numbers, verify your actions, and show that you're not only writing something on a paper, but you are out doing things. Good. Was this the answer to your question?
Absolutely, and then maybe we could have a kind of evaluation criteria, grill, and we could maybe check this with a few investors or friends against those criteria. Would you have any template for that?
Sure. Sorry?
Would you have any model for that?
I would say, I don't know which country you're operating in, but here in Scandinavia we have a lot of help from the incubators. You can go there. You also have government initiatives, operations or organizations working with helping entrepreneurs, and you can get free advice. You can they can review your business plan. And that's one example. You can also participate in a competition, and that's always a good thing, because then you will get feedback, you will be able to pitch the business plan and so on. So that's also a very good advice. And as you told us yourself, go out to friends and other investors, just talk to them. You do not have to show the whole business plan, I mean, during a meeting, for example, but you can at least discuss what you're thinking.
Yes, thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jean-Luc. So we've seen on the pad that there was a question, two questions about the slides, whether they will be sent to participants. And I think, Frida, if you agree, this is something we can do.
Of course.
Great. And we also have a question from Soren Botker. He says, why do you think that BC is the best module? So perhaps I will unmute Soren so we can engage with him.
Yes.
Hi, Soren.
Hi.
Hi. My question is, why do you think business Osterwalder is the best model? Because doesn't it have any problem with multi-level business?
Sorry, I didn't recognize the problem.
If you have multi-layer business in your business in general, that means that you can sell to different markets with different value proposition. Don't you then have a problem with using the business model canvas?
I think I hear you quite not so good. I will try to divide your question into different sections. The first was why I think the business model canvas is good. And my answer to that is because you would like to, you will have a simple, clear way to just have everything in place, so to say, so you don't forget anything. That's why I really liked the model. Also, I like the model because you're asking yourself questions, and maybe that's an easier way than go out and see a model where they just state, this is what needs to be done. So I think it's good for you to think about why you need these different sections and the different information. So that's the first part in my answer. And the second one, I really don't, I'm sorry, I don't understand your question.
The problem is if you have a business that you can sell to different different customer segments.
Ah, okay, okay. Then I see. Okay.
Okay.
And then my proposal would be to have, as I told before, have a master business plan, a general business plan about your company, and then you can break out different sections and make them, what do you say, towards the different customers. For example, in my own business, I do consulting. I mean, it's just hours. I'm invoicing hours. Then I do these kind of things with the webinars and workshops. And then I go out and work as a coach as well. And this is different parts, of course. So then I have done different mini business models on the different sections or segments, so to say. Was this the answer to your question?
Yes, thank you.
Good. Thank you, Sarah.
Okay, so there's no other questions on the questions pane. Perhaps you can pick up some of the other ones you received before.
We have Nicole Bourmand.
She's here. I will unmute you, Nicole. Hello? Okay, so she doesn't seem, we can't hear her, but perhaps you can address the question and see if it can be helpful for others.
Good. And Nicole, please feel free to shout out if you're able to later on. The question was, for this webinar, I would like to have a clear outline of list of things that investors like to see in the business plan. And perhaps an example would help. And this is the slide I showed with the content of a business plan. Here we go.
No, que sigue. Bueno, puedes seguir porque no voy a tener tiempo.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, we could hear something else, but I think you're back.
Okay. All right. So this is a very simple list of the key ingredients, the most important things to include in a business plan. And for examples, actually I would say that you go out online and Google business plans, because you will be able to reach a lot of information. And you can also see different kind of business plans for different kind of segments or different branches, so to say. So it's very good to go out there. And then, I mean, you can be overwhelmed with all the information, of course, but pick out a business plan that you like and that's suitable for you. But these are the key ingredients to have in it.
Thank you, Frida. Just so you know, Nicole wrote that she can hear us, but her microphone doesn't work. So that was
okay.
silence. So
I hope this was the answer to her question.
I think we can go on to the next one. Yes, yes, it was the answer to her question.
Ah, perfect, perfect. Thank you. We have Miguel Carnero.
Let's see. Miguel. No, he doesn't seem to be online.
Okay, okay. Then I will raise it for him.
Yes.
He's stating, the most important thing I would like to learn is what is considered the most important factors and information on the business plan in order to get investment from partners. I would say that we've already answered this one.
Yeah.
Let's move forward. We have Pedro Pinto.
Pedro. Yes, we have Pedro Cruz. No, so it's different Pedros, but let's go ahead with where you read out the questions, and I'm sure they'll be helpful for the rest as well.
Yes, of course. Pedro is stating, as we are now opening a seed round to fund our next operations, I expect to learn from this webinar the details on how to provide the correct and precise information that will get investors attached and interested. And this is again, as discussed before, the criteria, the approach of having the ID and you as a company or person. That's the most crucial thing. And then use the criteria we have already discussed. And also, a good advice here is to, if you're going to a investor or a development partner or a larger company, be sure to research them before and see if you can maybe talk to some of their employees before, ask some questions so that you learn from what to say. So you learn from several channels what they really need and what they're doing right now, and what they would like to see and what they want. Because then it's easier for you to, during a meeting, discuss the things towards what they really need. Let's see here. We have Juan Iseta.
Let's see. Juan. Yeah. No, he seems to be offline.
Okay. But then we'll raise his question as well. And we are interested on understanding the difference of analysis between business angels and VCs for the same business plan. I mean, where they focus their decision making. And I would say here that the basis is the same for a business angel and a VC. A VC is a venture capital company investing with a private equity often. And the basis is the same. But then if you're looking upon the whys for a business angel and the whys for a VC, perhaps the VC is more interested in the financial part because they want to see a return of investment earlier often. Some VCs go in and they want to return, a good return already after 4 or 5 years. And in contradiction to that, we have the business angels who often, according to my experience here in Scandinavia, they want to have, I mean, they want to participate in your company more. They want to give you knowledge and competences and see you and your company grow. So perhaps they have a more personal aspect compared to the VCs. And this also affects, of course, the content of your business plan or how you are presenting your business plan when meeting with this different kind of investors then. Some additional questions from any of you listening now?
None for now, but perhaps I could ask you a few questions.
Of course.
So I had a question about sectors. So in your experience, do you think that entrepreneurs active in very specific sectors, so for example, creative or let's say in your expertise, ICT or life science, do you think according to sectors you should have, let's say, some modifications on your business plan? Are there some, let's say, criteria or specificities that should be different according to sector and tailored? Or this is something that doesn't matter and so you can go with the, let's say, a standard one that will then be good for the sector that you're in?
I would say if we look upon ICT as a sector and life science as a sector, sorry, the life science sector is, it takes so much longer time in your activities to verify your drugs or your medical device. I mean, it can take 5 to 20 years to verify and go through the different proof of concepts to actually be able to see your product out on the shelves selling. And for the ICT, I would say this sector is more vibrant. It's very creative. Of course, the life science is creative as well. But the ICT, they have more. They want to see exactly when will you have the application done, for example, and how will you reach the market, because the growth there is very important, and it's important from day one. In life science, you have, of course, longer time to be able to develop your company during the proof of concept, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the difference between the sectors.
Okay. And in terms of business model and business plan, I've heard a few times that, and I think you even mentioned this, that the business model is the most important. So you need to make sure that your plan is sustainable. So
Yeah.
do you think at this point, does this make the business plan superfluous, or is it something that you still need because investors will still require one?
You will need different kind of business plans, so to say, dependent on where you are in development or in the development of a company. For example, in the life science sector, in the start or in the beginning, you need to have the finances to go through clinical proof of concept, of course, and you do it in different steps. Mm-hmm. So maybe you need financing for sorry, the first step,
yeah,
and then you need a kind of a business plan for that. Then later on, after 2-3 years, when you're going into the next milestone in the project or in the business, then you may be needing another kind of information or another kind of business plan. Mm-hmm. But the model for compiling the information is, of course, the same. But then you need to adjust the information depending on where you are in your company's development or the product and the service development.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. So perhaps to wrap up, you can just tell our participants, let's say, 3 main points that they should bear in mind when creating their business plan in order for it to be, let's call it, investment ready.
Then I would say know your numbers again, mm-hmm. Make it short and sweet, mm-hmm. And adjust it to the person or persons you're presenting it to.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much, Frida. I see that there are no new questions. So
good. Shall we continue here then?
So thank you very much for your time. Oh, wait, we do have one question. Yeah. It's Nicole Burumand. She says, you mentioned that our financial analysis should be conservative regarding sales. My question is, do investors assume that financial predictions are always overly optimistic? If we use lower predictions or more pessimistic forecasts, will the investors assume we are using the most optimistic sales figures available? And could this hurt how our business proposition is valued?
I would say you could do a sales forecast that's optimistic and present it in the business plan. And then you can make a more realistic one, if you say so, as well, showing this is the optimistic model and this is what perhaps is the best and worst case, I would say, because then you show that you're actually thinking about the numbers. Of course, an investor wants to see that you have good sales or potential for good sales. But if you overvalue the sales and you have undervalued the costs, in the end you will not make a good profit. So that's something I just told you earlier on, to have this optimistic or non-optimistic approach.
Great. So I hope this answers Nicole's question. So at this point, I'll wrap up again. Thank you very much, Frida, for your time today.
Sorry, please. I have, let's see. Sorry.
No worries.
Go further. I have this one, just I want to show you.
Yes.
These are some free business plan templates you can find online. And a very inspirational person, Steve Blank, who is from Stanford University. He's creating a lot of tools used all over the world. And then we have some free business model canvas and value proposition tools. I also wanted to show you as an inspiration.
Yeah, great. I think this could be very helpful.
Yeah, I think so too. Great. So if no further questions, I would like to give you a big thank you for sharing, and I wish you all the best of luck in the future.
Great. Thank you so much, Frida. Now I will run the participants through just a few more of my slides. Okay, so I hope everyone can see them. Yes, so this has been the fourth Investment Readiness webinar. We have one more coming up on the 14th of March on how to communicate to investors. This will be delivered by Jaroslav Luptek from the Neurology Ventures and Amparo de San Jose from Yezeban. Please do register. This will be the last of the series. And then we will go on to the second step of the program, which are the coaching academies. There's 4 of them, 3 of them on investment and 1 on business. The first one will take place on the 16th of March in Dresden. Then we'll have the one in Lisbon on the 27th of March, followed by Lund in Sweden on the 29th of March. And finally, the last Investment Academy in Ljubljana, the 6th of April. So these are very interesting days because you will get a chance to attend, let's say, a very interactive event where you will have coaches that will listen to your pitches, will be able to provide tailored and personal advice, and I think it's really a great opportunity to take advantage of these really expert coaches that we have selected. Next on will be the online qualifications. So all of those who have registered to the program will be qualified through an online program that will look at the criteria that you can see here. This will be able to give you, let's say, some numbers into your performance so far. And then we'll follow with a one-to-one mentoring. You will be paired up with the coaches in different countries, and this again will be very helpful. You will receive direct coaching and will be able to, let's say, be addressed according to your specific problems or challenges or doubts. And then finally, this will be this will all come together in the final venture forum taking place this year on the 18th and 19th of May in Barcelona. Here there will be a matchmaking between, let's say, the final selected companies and investors active in the fields that that the selected companies are in, and this will finalize the program. So this was just a kind reminder. At this point, I will thank again Frida. Thank you for your attention, and we will be sending you the slides that Frida presented later on. So thank you very much, and I hope you all have a great day and a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, Frida. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.